Live is on. In case anybody didn't know, I'm gonna give everyone a moment to get in here. Hope everybody's having a great day. What day is it? Sometimes I'm forgetting what day of the week it is. Thursday. Hope everybody's having a great Thursday. Today is November the 5th, 2020. Let me adjust my lenses here over on Facebook. So we got live in 3 places right now. We're live on Instagram over here. We live on Facebook right here. We live on Periscope right there. So as y'all are checking in, if you're on Periscope, you can tap the screen. The little hearts come up. IG, y'all can tap the screen as well. And we get those hearts to pop up. And Facebook, I don't think you can tap the screen on Facebook. If you want mobile, maybe you can. But you can leave a comment. You can like the video, share it, all that, post to your page, all that, all this and all that. So hopefully everybody's having a great Thursday thus far. Hope everybody's had a great day. It's been positive. It is very gray and rainy out here in Miami. I'm gonna take a walk after I do this live, but I don't think I'm gonna take one today. It's a little bit too much rain going on. But anyway, it's November 5th. We're gonna get to why I'm talking about that date in a moment. But anyway, I'm gonna give everybody like 10 seconds to get in here. Then I'm gonna introduce myself. Then we're gonna get right into this material. Then after I get into this material, I'm gonna tell you some other things. Then I'm gonna answer questions, and then we'll be done. So that's gonna be the whole program. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, former 9-year professional athlete, author of 27 books, including this book, Work on Your Game, and including this book, The Mirror of Motivation. When I'm done with this live, I'm gonna tell you how to get this book right here. At the end of this presentation right here, I'm gonna tell you how to get this book for free, shipped to your doorstep. So if you want this book, you don't have it already, you want it, or if you already got it and you want to give it to a friend, stay to the end of this presentation. I'm gonna tell you how to get this book for free. And what I do and what I've done is I created this whole framework and this philosophy, this business called Work on Your Game. It's all about taking the mental tools you need to succeed in sports. That's the mindset, the strategy, the accountability, and the action, and showing you how those same principles can be applied to a business, how they can be applied to your work, your career, and of course, how they apply to everyday life. So what we're talking about here today, the question is, could Dre run for president? Could I ever be a politician? Because when I talked about these political topics, sometimes people say, well, Dre, you should run for something, or could you ever run for anything? And I was gonna talk about something different today, but I think it's perfect timing to talk about this because who knows, maybe by this time tomorrow, all this stuff, all the dust will have cleared. I don't know where everybody who's listening to this is from, but everybody knows what's going on in the United States. We had an election that was allegedly happened 2 days ago, but we still don't know who won because there are ballots still being counted, allegedly. And the majority of them are all, it seems like, from what I'm hearing, all the ballots that have not been counted yet are all going to one person. So who knows? Who knows what's actually going on? Will we ever really know what happened? Probably not. What is going to be the outcome of this? We don't really know. One thing that I do know for sure is that I do not predict either candidate conceding that they lost. I don't predict Trump saying that he lost. I don't predict Biden saying that he lost. And if Biden won't say it, then Biden has all the media on his side. So the media will not admit that Biden lost if he did actually lose. Trump's not going to admit that he lost. It's going to be a big fight. This may end up going to courts and then senators and all these kind of votes and all kinds of things are going to have to take place. And if that happens, I don't know. We might be in for anarchy here in the United States. So I think all y'all better tool up. Y'all better get boarded up. If you got a gun, you better make sure you got bullets. All right, you ain't got to use it yet, but you better be ready to defend yourself because it might get ugly out here in these streets in the United States over the next couple of days, maybe the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we get an amicable resolution, but I don't see one happening just given the parameters of the situation. All that said, what I want to talk about here today is could I ever do politics? Whether I was running for president, whether I was running for mayor, anything political, could I actually do it? And I've talked about, and this is not even a political topic, honestly, it's not, because I'm not really into politics. I don't follow politics like that. Don't ask me what anybody's policies are or anybody's tax plans. I don't know, even though stuff gets posted on social media. There's a lot of details that go into that stuff that I don't really know about. So anytime I talk about anything that's political, it's more based on my observation of people and how people are thinking and how people are looking at things. It's not really about, well, this person's tax rate is higher than that person's, or this person's going to do this to healthcare and the unemployment rate was this number or that number. That's not the way I assess politics. But I still talk about it because I can talk about it from a social and people and mindset frame of point of view. not from a details and stats and research point of view. And one thing that's funny when I talk about it from that angle, sometimes people get mad. What's going on? Patakag Fus checking in. I think that's the Philippines. Some people get mad if they don't agree with my conclusions. They'll say, "Oh well, you don't have any information. You don't follow policy. You don't have the knowledge. You don't have the facts. You need to do your research." Understand something. In a democracy, everybody gets one vote. So it really doesn't matter if they have information, if they have facts, or if you agree with them. You think they're stupid and an idiot and they shouldn't be sharing their opinion. It really doesn't matter what another person thinks because each one of us gets one vote. Allegedly. Again, I don't know who knows what's happening this year. And these counts that are still taking place, and who knows? Allegedly, we all get one vote in a democracy, so it really doesn't matter why another person has their opinion. They are entitled to having one, especially in a democracy, because according to the rules, everybody's supposed to get one vote. All that being said, I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why I would absolutely not participate in politics, and you can take these reasons. This is really not about me. These reasons you can understand just for the whole political system, any type of politics, especially in the United States. I've never lived as a citizen in another country. I've lived in other countries, but only when I was working, not as a full-time citizen. I didn't participate in any election process in any other country. So I'm speaking about the American political scene, why I cannot work in the American political scene. Though I can watch it, it's good theater, it's fun to watch on TV, it's like watching a movie. At sometimes. Right now, it's like watching a suspense thriller and you don't know the good guy. Actually, you don't know who the good guy is. So you don't know who's going to die, who's going to survive, who's going to get the girl at the end. We have no idea right now, and I'm sure plenty of y'all have opinions. I think all of you have plenty of opinions. So we're going to take those at the end of this live. So if you got a question or comment, you can post that in the comment section while I'm talking, or at the end. I'm going to address all of them at the end. And I'm going to tell you how to get this book, The Mirror of Motivation, for free, as I promised. So let's get into could I get into politics? Could I run for president, mayor, senator, governor, attorney general, any of those things? I don't even know all the titles. That's how little that I pay attention to politics. So the answer is no, I absolutely could not. Here's the first reason why I cannot be in politics. Number one reason is that when you're a politician, you have to pretend to like people that you don't actually like. And you have to do it way too much. Now, listen, in my life, in my business, the things that I do, sometimes I got to pretend to like people that I don't like, but I don't have to do it for that long. It's a short-term thing, so I could pretend to like somebody that I don't like just to get them the hell out of my face. After 5 minutes, I'm good. Then I can move on with my life. They can move on with what they're doing. In politics, you got to pretend to like people that you don't like for like your whole career. Or you might win presidency. You got to pretend to like somebody for 4 years straight. You don't even like him. Now, Donald Trump came in, he kind of broke the mold, and he was like, all right, I'm not going to pretend to like people that I don't like. And a lot of people don't like the fact that he doesn't do it. He doesn't play the game. The thing about politics, the definition of politics is anything that a human being does to protect or further their own personal interests. Now, that's politics with a lowercase p. Politics with a capital P, meaning the governmental type of politics, is when you got to play the game. You got to pretend that you're cool with people. You got to pretend to like people. You got to shake people's hands. You got to work with people that you may be ideologically opposed to. Y'all don't have the same ideas. Y'all don't look at things the same way. You may be on the Democrat side. They might be a Republican. You might want to raise taxes. They might want to lower taxes. And you got to pretend to like these people, or you got to figure out somehow, some way to get along with them, even though they're looking in your face and lying to you, and you're looking in their face and lying to them. They know it, you know it, and y'all both got to pretend that that's not happening. Also, you both can keep your jobs, y'all can both keep getting paid, and y'all can win your next election and just have your career go like that. And that's another thing about politics, is that in the United States, at least, I don't know how it is in other countries. In the United States, politics is a career. And this is what I want people to understand. I talked about this on my story earlier today, and I've talked about it many times. And I talked about it on my podcast, actually. I think it was yesterday's episode when I said the election's over now. What do we do? Understand something, ladies and gentlemen. The number one role of politicians in the United States is not to serve you as a citizen. You think that that's their role, to serve you. You think you voted for Biden or Trump because they're going to serve you. And you think you vote for the mayor or the governor because all the promises that they made, all the things they said they're going to do to help you out. No, that is not the number one thing that they do. Now, while they might be telling you the truth and they might be lying, I mean, any of you ever voted for a politician who didn't do what they said they were going to do? I'm sure you have. Any of you ever seen a politician say they were going to do something, then 2 years into their term, somebody proves that they did the exact opposite of what they said they were going to do? Of course. Why is this? Because the number one job of a politician in America, as soon as you get elected, is to keep your job. And the way you keep your job in politics in America is what I'm talking about here in the first point. You got to pretend to like people that you don't like. You got to do things for people that you don't want to do for them. You got to ignore people that you want to pay attention to. You got to shake hands with people that you rather punch them in their face if you could. And this is why I couldn't be in politics. It's way too much fakery that goes on. And the politician's number one job is to keep their job. And the way you keep your job in politics is you got to please people that are not the everyday people. When you see the presidents going around or the presidential candidates going around and shaking people's hands and going to small towns and going to the gas stations and giving these speeches and taking pictures with people and all that, those are not the people that they serve. Those people don't keep them in office. Those people don't keep them having their jobs. It's the lobbyists that they got to be cool with. Is the special interest groups that they got to be cool with. These are people that y'all never know their names. Y'all will never even know who they are. Those are the people that determine whether the governor gets to stay the governor or the president stays the president or the mayor gets to stay the mayor. All right, that's the real game of politics. Politics is a game, is a career. So understand the number one person you got to serve when you're a politician are the people who determine whether or not you can stay in your job. And that is not the everyday man and woman who's going to work. Joe the auto mechanic, or the person working at McDonald's, or somebody complaining because minimum wage is not high enough. Those are not the people that keep your job as a politician. It's the other people that you don't even like. But if you tell them to their face that you don't like them, they'll make sure you don't have a job anymore. Then you got to go get an actual job outside of politics. So this is the number one reason why I could not be a politician, because it's too much pretending and too much fakery going on. Point number 2. Topic here today is, Dre, could you be a politician? Could I be a president? Could I run for president, governor, mayor, city council, anything like that? Number two reason why I could not is that to win an election, you have to lie to a whole lot of people. Listen, Trump, Obama, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan before that, Joe Biden right now, whoever's going to win this year, understand, all of them looked you in your face and lied to you to win or to get your vote. Whoever you voted for, whatever presidential candidate you've ever voted for in your life, they had to tell lies to get you to vote for them. And let me explain to you why. In America, you got over 300 million people. There is no way, it is impossible, it's statistically impossible for any one person to serve and please 300 million people all at the same time, because not all 300 million have the same interests. Not everybody wants the same things. So if I do something that is going to make 100 million people happy, then there's going to be another 50 million who are not happy with that. Or if I was to tell everybody the actual truth, like what actually is going on. If I tell people, look, I could lower your taxes, but in order for me to lower taxes, then there's this trade-off that has to happen on the other side of things. If I told people the actual truth, and that's the way it really works, nobody would vote for me, because they'd be like, well, look, why would I understand I'm going to get this, but you're going to take away that. I'm going to have to give up this. Why would I vote for you? I want all of it. I want this, and this, and I don't want to have to give up anything. And then a politician understanding the game, you know what they got to do? They got to tell you they're going to give you all of it. They're going to tell you, I'm going to give you A, B, and C, and they don't even mention D, E, and F, which are the things that you're going to have to give up in order to get it. Because if they told you about D, E, and F, number one, you wouldn't vote for them. And number two, my opponent, the person I'm running against, they would just take D, E, and F, the things that people have to give up, and they would just use them against me every debate for the whole campaign. They would run ads against me, pointing out all the stuff I said about D, E, and F, the things that people got to give up, and I would lose. You can't tell the truth to win a political election, and not in the American politics. If you tell the truth, you are not going to win, simply because human beings, the people who are voting for you, most people are such one-dimensional thinkers. If you tell them the actual truth of what's going to happen, they're going to be like, well, why do I have to give something up to get something? Which makes no sense. Like, we all understand that in life, in order to get something, you got to give something up. Right? You get out of life what you put into it. Everybody understands that, right? However, if I was to be running for a political office and I said, listen, here are some things that I'm going to do for you, but in order for me to do these things, here's some things that you're going to have to do. And most people, one-dimensional thinking individuals, that's the majority of the masses of the public, are going to say, well, hell no, I don't want that. I don't want to have to give anything up. I want all the things that I want, and you're supposed to do it for me because I'm voting for you. And if you want my vote, you got to do all these things for me, and I don't want to have to give up anything, even though it makes no sense. It is logically impossible. But you never hear a politician say anything like that. You never hear a politician say, look, it's logically impossible for me to give all y'all everything that you want, and nobody has to give up anything. Nobody's ever said that. Obama didn't say it. Trump didn't say it. Biden didn't say it. No other candidate you've ever voted for says something like that. At least not the big stage political campaigns. Maybe some small local place they can tell you the truth. But in the big stages, the national ones, they can't tell you that. Because there's too many people that they're talking to, and most of those people don't think on that level that they can understand, and you don't have the time to give people the context. And then your opponent's just going to run wild with it and destroy you. So I could not be a politician, because you got to lie to win elections, and I'm going to have to lie to people to get them to buy into me, because then I'm going to run into those people, and they're going to say, hey, you said this, and then you did this. What's that? What's up with that? And I don't want to have to lie to them again. And this is what politicians do over and over again. They lie to get you to vote for them. Then they lie to get you against their opponent. Then, after they proved that they were lying by doing the opposite of what they promised during the election, and then you call them out on the lie, then they lie again to cover up the lie. Right? And that's all they do. Politics is all about telling lies. Right? All you do is lie. Now, I'm not saying all politicians are liars as humans. I'm saying that they have to do a lot of lying. Okay, so I'm not attacking them, their characters as humans, but I am saying the nature of the job means you have to do a whole lot of lying just to get in the job, and you got to do a whole lot of lying to keep the job. And that's the only way you can keep the job in politics, at least in the United States, as the structure is currently put together. Now, looking at what we're looking at right now with this presidential situation, maybe it's coming a time when this whole thing is going to fall apart. Maybe there's going to be complete anarchy, and the whole government is going to fall apart. The whole system is going to fall apart, and we're going to have to build the whole thing back up from zero. That's the only way this is going to change what I've talked about so far. All the lying that goes on in politics is going to keep going, simply because people don't have the time or the attention spans to really notice all the details of the lies that politicians tell. They get swept under the rug. And unless there's enough people upset about what's going on, it needs to be people on both sides of whatever political discourse, Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever. It got to be people on all sides upset about what's going on in order for this thing to get overthrown. For now, it's just a back and forth. It's like a seesaw. This side's up, then this side's up, then this side's up, and this side's up. As long as that's going, it's going to continue to be dirty the way that it is. And point number 3, topic here today is, could I be a political candidate? The answer is hell no. The third reason is, people don't like the truth because the truth is not black and white. The truth is usually some form of gray. See, right now, you got Biden's side and Trump's side both arguing that they are either winning the election or somebody's trying to steal the election from them. And whichever side gets declared, and who's declaring the winner, who is declaring the winner is the media. So when the media comes out and says this person won and this person lost, the other person is going to say, well, no, I didn't lose. That they stole the election from me. Some cheating went on. We got to take this to court. We got to recount this thing. That wasn't right. This part wasn't done right. This part wasn't done right. This is all this black and white, right? This person said they won. This person said they won. The truth is somewhere in between the two. Now, the truth in life, here's the thing about understanding truth, that requires a considerable amount of critical thinking. Critical thinking meaning looking at the facts as you know them, identifying the facts that you don't know, identifying what is being given to you, what opinions are being given to you, but fed to you as if they were facts. This is what the media does these days. This is why I told you to stop watching the news. And figuring out the truth, the actual truth, which is somewhere gray, is a couple things about it. Number one, the truth is rarely sensational. All right, the truth is not something to get excited about. Nobody gets excited about the truth. What people get excited about are polarizing opinions. A polarizing opinion is, all right, this guy is terrible and he's trying to destroy the country and he's racist and he's horrible and he has to lose. That's sensational. That gets people excited. Another thing that gets people excited is, well, people are hating and they're all banding together to cheat us and they're trying to steal this thing from us. And they're all socialists trying to destroy the country in a different way. That's sensational. It gets people excited. And those are the things that win elections. All right, that's the truth. Those are the things that win elections. The truth, though, the actual truth of what's real in life is usually very gray. It's somewhere in between the extremes that people are always talking about. And the thing is, the truth doesn't get people excited. The truth is like throwing a glass of cold water on somebody that's all hot. And the truth doesn't get you excited. The truth does not galvanize an audience. The truth does not get people to go vote. The truth does not get people to show up to a rally. The truth does not get people angry enough to fight against each other or hashtag or be on social media bombing somebody's comment section or anything like that. The truth doesn't do that. As the saying goes, a lie makes its way halfway around the world before the truth even puts its pants on. if I was to be into politics, I would need to give people context. I would need to tell people the truth, which is, look, it's not this extreme that y'all think, and it's not this extreme that you over here think. The truth is somewhere here in the middle. Nobody's going to be excited about that. I'm going to just lose the whole audience as soon as I say that. So I actually won't even have any voters. I'm going to get the same number of votes that Kanye got, all right, if I tell the truth. Because the truth is not sensational enough for most people who are looking for something exciting, something sensational, something they can hitch their wagon to and hook their hopes to. And it just doesn't work in the political arena, again, as presently constructed in the United States of America. Now, who knows? Maybe it'll change. Maybe the situation we got right now might lead to a complete overhaul of everything. I'm not quite sure. I'm really interested to see how this turns out, because I am 95% sure that neither one of these candidates is going to cede that they lost. So I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I think it's going to be great theater as long as you're not too emotionally engaged in either one of these candidates winning. Now, if you are, then it might not be great theater for you. You might be very anxious about this, but I'm not anxious. I'm just interested. I'm interested just to see what happens, because I'm going to get great material out of this no matter what happens. So all that being said, let me recap. I'm going to recap my points in a moment, but first let me tell you how to get this book for free, as I promised. This right here is called The Mirror of Motivation, the Self-Guide, Self-Discipline. The reason why you want this book, and you can get it at just the title of the book.com without the mirrorofmotivation.com. If you go to mirrorofmotivation.com, just tell us where to ship the book. You take care of a small shipping charge. We ship this book to you worldwide, anywhere that you live. Why do you want this book? I told you the subtitle, Self-Guide, Self-Discipline, but what is this book actually going to do for you? Because maybe that doesn't excite you. Well, let me tell you why you should be excited. Because everybody who is listening to me, you have goals, and you understand you got to give something to get something in life. Unlike some of the people who get excited about politicians, they think they're just going to get everything with no trade-offs. Here's the thing, though. Most people never ask themselves what type of person they need to be. Most people know they got to do some work to reach a goal, and most people who are listening to me have goals. But you never ask yourself, who do I need to be? What kind of energy do I need to have? How do I need to approach life? What do I want to see when I look in the mirror? What do I want people to feel when they come across me? The answers to those questions are going to be provided to you with the frameworks in this book. The frameworks in the book will help you answer those questions, a better way of saying it, so that you can go out, be who you need to be, so then you do what you need to do, then you get the results that you want to have in your life. And I'm going to answer all questions as soon as I get done with this. So go to mirrorofmotivation.com. Again, the link is, you see the URL at least here on IG, on Facebook, and you see it on Periscope, mirrorofmotivation.com. The book is already paid for. All you do is cover the shipping. Tell us where to ship the book. Yes, we ship the books worldwide. Go to mirrorofmotivation.com. I got you covered. All that being said, could I get into politics? The answer is hell no. 3 reasons. Number 1, to be a politician in America, you got to pretend to like people that you do not like. Number 2, you got to lie a lot to win an election. You got to lie to stay in politics, and it's a full-time career. It is not public service. Now, people say politicians are public servants. No, they're not. Politicians make a whole lot of money. It's not a public service. It's a job. Being a politician is a job. It is a career. If it was a public service, then all politicians will have full-time jobs and they would do politics on the weekends. But no, they do politics full-time, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and they make money doing it. Many politicians make more money than the people that they claim to be serving. And I'm not saying it's wrong to make money, but politics is not a public service. Politics is a career. It is a job. It is a for-profit industry. And number 3, people do not like the truth because the truth is not sensational. It's usually somewhere in between the extremes, and people don't get excited about things that are not extreme these days, thanks to social media and the shortened attention spans that we have all developed. So all that being said, let me address questions and comments that we got in the comment section. So in the comments, let me see here. Saleh said, "Are you aiming to run for president?" No, hell no. I ain't running for president. That would never happen. Saleh said, you wouldn't be the clown out here, so you would be a good president. I think I would be a good president overall, because if people weren't so interested in sensational. The problem is I couldn't drum up enough votes. People wouldn't vote for me because I would have criticisms for both sides. So they wouldn't be excited for me because they'd be mad at me. They'd be mad at me because I tell people the truth. You can't tell too much truth and be a politician. That's just the game. Brandon says, seems like Trump is in fear that he'll lose because the Democrats are getting mail-in ballots. Some of them wouldn't have went to the polls without it. Well, yeah, I do think Trump is in fear that he'll lose. I think Biden's in fear that he'll lose too. I don't think either one of these guys wants to lose. So, and the thing about Biden is that he has the entire mainstream media and all of the tech world on his side. The whole social media, all of tech, and all mainstream media don't like Donald Trump. So Biden got a whole army of all the media, all the news outlets on his side, and Trump has him and all his fan base on his side. He has a significant fan base. So, I mean, this might end up civil war. MAGA against Silicon Valley. I don't know who's going to win. And he said because of the mail-in ballot, some people wouldn't have went to the polls without it. Yeah, a lot of people didn't want to go to the polls because of COVID and all that. So, but it's I'm seeing a lot of stuff. I don't know who to trust. I don't know who to believe. I don't know who has accurate, information and who doesn't. So it's really hard to call right now. But I know that Trump is not going to just take it. And when they say, oh, well, Biden got 30,000 new votes came in, Biden beat you now. All right, Trump's not going to take that. All right, whether it's accurate or not, Trump is not going to accept that. So that's what I'm just interested to see what happens, because I know he's not going to accept it, even if that is the report. And I'm sure that's going to be the report. No news outlet is going to say, hey, Trump won. New York Times ain't going to say that. CNN is not going to say that. MSNBC is not going to say that. None of these platforms are going to say Trump beat Biden. Now, they're either going to say nothing, or they're going to wait till the news is Biden beat Trump, and they're going to put that out there. So that's actually going to work in Trump's favor, because he's going to have that card in his hand to say none of these news outlets is going to be fair and actually admit that I won, and that's something that he's going to use against them. He's going to use it to his advantage. Now, what's going to happen after that, I have no idea, but that's going to happen. Brandon said, do you think he lied about his reasoning for no mail-in? What was his reasoning? I don't know what the reasoning was. But I think one thing that a lot of people voiced, and I think Trump did when the mail-in thing first came about, was that there's a chance for a whole lot of fraud if we have mail-in voting. And now, he said that before the mail-in voting started, and now that we got this whole situation, now he can say, hey, I told y'all months ago that this was going to happen. Now, whether it's true or not doesn't even matter. See, some people might be hearing me say this and say, well, that's not true, Dre, because the fact is this: the facts don't matter anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Facts do not matter. What matters is what people think. What matters is the narrative, the story that people have in their minds. The masses of people, half of them got one story and half of them have another story. That's why I'm saying this is so interesting, because it's not like everybody agrees on the story. So that's the challenge here. Trump created the narrative that there could be fraud with mail-in ballots, and now all he has to do is just keep saying it. Whatever state, if Nevada goes for Biden, he can say, well, it's fraud. Michigan, he can say it was fraud. Wisconsin, he can say that was fraud. Pennsylvania, fraud. He can just claim fraud in every state. All these last 4 or 5 states: North Carolina, Georgia, PA, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Nevada, and Arizona too. So those 7 states, he can just claim it was fraud because he said it before any of this even happened. It lends credibility to the claim. Again, I'm not saying that makes it true. I'm saying it lends credibility to the claim, and other people who are his fans, they are going to accept it because they're his fans. They listen to what he says and they accept it. And the people who hate Trump, they're going to listen to everything anti-Trump and they're going to accept that. Now, who's factually correct? It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter who's factually correct. All that matters is what you believe. Money May says, the only intention behind me paying attention to the election is because I find the carnage and rioting entertaining. Well, as long as they keep it verbal carnage, I'm cool with. I don't know about physical carnage. No. Rioting, no. I don't want there to be any rioting, because rioting, people get hurt and businesses get destroyed, and some people get really messed up. People get killed. I don't want that to happen. I don't want any rioting, because people lose their lives over that. But verbal back and forth, I'm all right with. I could laugh at that. Brandon said, I tell the truth even when Al Pacino, yeah. ARB, what's going on? Brandon said minimum wage going up to $15 in Florida. That's up by $1. It used to be $14. All right, I guess that's cool. I mean, in some places, minimum wage, when the minimum wage goes up, actually people lose jobs because employers don't want to put out more money. So what they do is just fire people so that they don't have to give out more money. If you got 2 employees, you're paying them $10 an hour each, you might just fire one of them because now you got to raise the minimum wage so you can keep more of your own money. If you raise the minimum wage, where's the extra money coming from? The business itself might not have that money. So sometimes raising the minimum wage actually hurts people because they get fired from their jobs because their company can't afford to pay that higher wage. Or they fire them and they hire somebody who's more qualified, who is worth the additional money. So raising the minimum wage is not always a good thing. But anybody out there who is campaigning for or happy because the minimum wage got raised, you need to come join us at Work on Your Game University. So you can make yourself a higher, more qualified person so you ain't worried about what the minimum wage is. That's actually the solution, is to go above the problem. You don't want to be worrying about what the minimum wage is. Put yourself in a position where you are more valued than whatever the minimum wage is, so that whatever it is, it doesn't even matter to you because you can demand more than that. That's the solution to the whole minimum wage situation. Sports Lover said, presidents don't make that much considering how much responsibility they have, about 400K. Well, 400K is more than 99% of people in the United States. So that's what I mean when I say they make a lot. That's a lot. I don't think I said the phrase a lot, but that is a lot compared to the average person. DW says, the election has been rigged. Many registered voters have been removed for Trump and many inflated numbers for Biden. The election outcome has to be fair. That is a fact. Well, yes, it does have to be fair, DW, but the question is, who defines what's fair? See, that's the question. You're factually correct that it needs to be fair, but fair is a relative term. What's fair and what's not fair is subjective. So that's the challenge. Trump may say fair means do it this way, and the Biden side may say fair means do it this way. So who's right? Both of them think they're right. And who's going to back down and say, all right, the other guy's right? Nobody. Especially if backing down means you admit that you lost. Trump is not going to admit that he lost. And Biden plus the Biden cartel of all the media and all of big tech, they're not going to admit that Biden lost. So where is this going to go? I don't see either one of these sides backing down. That's the theater of this whole thing. Tiger Yoda, what's going on, my man? So everybody who has not yet claimed your free copy of this book, The Mirror of Motivation, go to mirrorofmotivation.com. Just go to the title of the book.com. Take out the word the. So it's mirrorofmotivation.com. The book is already paid for. All you do is cover a small shipping charge. We ship this to you worldwide, anywhere that you live. All right, so I think I answered all the questions. Y'all got anything on Facebook? I don't think I got anything on Periscope. All right, so everybody, I probably won't do a live tomorrow. I usually don't do Fridays. Friday's usually quiet when it comes to the lives. Tiger said, how have you been? How long do I have to get it for free? Right now, mirrorofmotivation.com. Scary White Man said, who am I rooting for, Dre, in the election? I'm not rooting for anybody. I'm rooting for America. I'm rooting for America. I'm rooting for there to be a resolution. Whatever it's going to be, let's just have it. If Trump's going to take it to court, let's do that. If Trump's going to concede and say he lost and the media says Biden won, let's do that. But I just want a solution so that we ain't got to keep talking about this shit every day. That's what I want. Because we got bigger fish to fry. We got more important matters to address. But this right now is dominating the news. So I just want people to get this done so we can talk about something else. DW said, in this context, by fair has to be registered voters. There should not be votes counted after the third. It's clearly voter fraud. Well, the thing is, DW, to address that is some states don't allow their ballot counters to start counting until the day of the election. And if you got 100,000 ballots, or some states said they had 600,000 ballots, you can't count 600,000 ballots in one day. They might not have enough people, so it just takes them more time to vote. But Trump can make the argument that you made, and nobody can say that he's wrong. It's just his position. It's how he feels. And him and all his fans feel that way, like what you just said. And then Biden and all his supporters feel this way. Again, who determines who's right or wrong? This is the president. So there's nobody higher than either of these guys. So who's going to break that tie? That's the question. So it's really not about, like I said, DW, it's not about fair and it's not about facts. It's really not. It's about because Biden and his side, they got their version of what's fair and what's factual. And Trump and his fans, they got their version of what's fair and what's factual. So you got Biden and all the media on one side, and then you got Trump and all the government on another side. Who's winning that battle? I just don't know how that's going to be. I don't know how that's going to be resolved. I'm interested to see. I hope it doesn't turn into bloodshed because we don't want people dying. All right, we can't be violent out here, but it's got to be resolved somehow, some way. Maybe we'll just have two presidents. Maybe Biden could be president on all the blue states, and Trump could be president of all the red states. So that means Trump would be president of Florida. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, he won Florida actually pretty significantly compared to last time. Let's see. Scary White Man said, nice answer, thanks. Tiger Yoda said, glad I live in Australia. Not many people care too much. That's good. Shout out to Australia. Sally said, I'd vote for Bernie Sanders. Yeah, but they said, well, Bernie shit. What did he try to run? He lost to Hillary. Then he lost again to Biden. I don't know, man. Bernie got to do better at campaigning. I mean, there's a lot of people who are big Bernie fans. I remember last time people were big fans of Bernie. But he lost to Hillary, who lost, and then he lost to Biden, who I never thought Biden was that strong of a candidate. I think every vote for Biden was really a vote against Trump. It wasn't really Biden, but Bernie's campaign game, he got to step his campaign game up. But now he got AOC. I think she's the next one. I think she's next up for the next election. I don't think she's going to be old enough. Maybe the one after that, 2028, she might be running. Zev Ehrlich, what's going on? Dre For Baldwin was good. So everybody who does not yet have their copy of this book, we're going to wrap this up right now. Anybody who does not yet have their copy of this book, go to that link that you see right there, mirrorofmotivation.com. Facebook, y'all see it in the title. Periscope, y'all see it in the title. Mirrorofmotivation.com. The book is free. I'm making this book free. We just got 30 of these in the mail yesterday. Y'all saw it on my story. It might still be on my story right now. 30 of these in the mail. We got more on the way. We will ship this book to you worldwide, anywhere you live, for free. All you do is cover a small shipping charge. We'll ship it to you, mirrorofmotivation.com. I probably won't do a live tomorrow, but I might do one Saturday. So everybody stay tuned for that. Just stay tuned to my story on IG. I'll let y'all know what's going on. Work on your game. Dre all day. We out.